Hello. So we are starting with multiplication of algebraic expressions for term 1 work, grade 10. So this one covers your grade 10 to 12. Okay, because you find that in grade 12 you will no longer be doing the algebra as a topic on its own. You start on number patterns, but here you need to have this background, because for your first question in grade 12, it's actually on algebra. So today we're looking at multiplication of algebraic expressions. So these questions, when they are coming, it comes as simplify. So they ask you to simplify. They ask you to simplify or expand. Okay, expand. So that's what they ask you to do. So there is no equal sign that you're going to have here. It's just expressions that you are given with no equal signs, but once you have an equal sign, it now becomes an equation. So here, the rule that you need to know here, let's say we have got A, and inside here, let's say we have got B plus C. So the answer here will be equals to your A will have to multiply your B, your same A will have to multiply B, we have to multiply C, sorry. So it's gonna be AB plus AC. But let's see a condition where we are having A outside, then we also have A inside, let's say plus C. So now remember when we're doing exponents, when you say A times A, it means that you have now the 2A, so you're adding the power, so it's going to be A squared, okay? Then A times C is AC, like that, okay? That's what we get. Let's say we have a negative here. Let's say we have a negative, then we have got negative A plus plus B. What do we get here? Because the negative is actually multiplying, there's a silent one here that has to go there inside, that has to be here. So it's negative times A is negative A, negative times B is negative B. That becomes your answer. What about if we have a negative outside? Then we have got, let's say it's A minus B. What do we get, guys? We are going to say, okay, negative times positive A, we're going to get negative A. The negative times negative, we get positive B. That's what will be your answer. So what you need to master here, when you multiply negative times negative, you get positive, and negative times positive, you always get a negative. Okay, that's what you need to master there. Now, let's say you have got negative 2A outside, then you have got A squared plus B. So in this case now, can you see that we have got, how many A's do we have here? We've got 2 A's here and another A here. So it's going to be negative 2A to the power of 3. So that's A cubed plus, sorry, it's not going to be plus here, it's going to be minus, because minus times plus is minus. It's going to be minus 2AB. That's what we get. Okay, now let's get to see our examples of today. So we have got 2x going inside here. Then you've got also the 2x multiplying negative 4y. And in this case here, we are actually having negative, that is multiplying what you call inside here, and also goes to multiply there. Okay, let's see what we get here. 2 times 3, you're going to get 6. Then x, how many x do we have here? We've got x, 2 x's. So we've got x times x, x squared. Then minus 2 times 4, it's going to be 8xy. Then here you've got negative here, negative 7x squared. Then what do we have here? Negative times negative, you get positive 2xy. Now, what we now have is that you've got like terms now. You've got x squared here, we've got x squared here, you've got xy here, you've got xy, you also have xy there. So you can simplify this further. Now, what do you get there? You're going to say 6x squared minus 7x squared. You get minus x squared. It's going to be minus 1 because you're subtracting a big number from a small number. What about here? We have negative 8xy plus 2xy. What do you get? You get negative 6xy. So once you're subtracting, once a negative is on a bigger number, your final answer will be negative. Once a negative is on a smaller number, your final answer will be positive. So this becomes your final answer like that. Okay, that's what we are required to do. Let's go to our next examples. We're now looking at product of two binomials. So here we have got x minus y, x minus 2. Okay, so now when you have got when you have something like this, let's just have something to understand here. Remember what we now understand. Let me just take this one down there. Let's say we have got A plus B. Then you have got C plus D. Now, what we need to do in this case is that we're going to say A. This A is going to multiply everything in the next bracket, which is C plus D. And B again is we're gonna say B plus, then here we're gonna have C plus D. So remember from our first rule, we're saying whatever we have here is going to multiply everything inside here. So A is going to multiply the second bracket, also the same B is going to multiply the same bracket that we're talking about here. So in this case, we're going to do the same. Let's do the same and see what we get. It's gonna be X in bracket x minus 2. Okay, then here we have got negative 5 here. So you take it with its sign. So the sign is there. We have got negative 5 in bracket x minus 2. Then what do we do from there? We're going to say x times x is x squared minus x times 2 is 2x. Then minus 5 times x is 5x. Then negative 5 times negative 2, you get positive 10. Now, from there, you've got x squared there, then negative plus negative, you're going to the negative side, so you're adding them. So it's going to be negative 7x. Then we have plus 10. So like that, you are done. That's your final answer. So when you're asked to get the product, that's where you end there. I know you will also do some questions on this, where we are solving this, when you're factorizing, where we are going back to the original. So for this case here, we're actually expanding. Okay, now let's look at this one here. So I urge you guys to put a pause and do it and see if you're getting a correct answer. Okay, so that's the only way to practice much better. So here it's going to be 3x in bracket 2x plus 3 minus 1, 2x plus 3. Then here, 3x times 2x, we're going to get 6x squared. So you're multiplying the numbers and also the x's, the variables. Then here, 3x times 3, we're going to get 9x. Then here, it's going to be minus 2x, then minus 3. Then here, we're going to get 6x squared. 9 minus 2, we're going to get 7. So it's going to be plus 7x, then minus 3. Okay, let's continue here. Product of two binomials again. But let's look at this now. Now we have got high order numbers now. High order variables. We're having x to the power 4, also y to the power of 2. How do we deal with that? Now, what we need to understand here, if we have got a to the power of n times a to the power of m, what we do, we add the powers n plus m. So we call this a base, and this one an exponent. So this one is our base, and this one here is our exponent. So if you are multiplying a variable with same base, you add their powers. So here is going to be like that. That's going to be your answer. So now let's see here how we're going to solve this. Remember from what we have learned now, it's going to be x to the power 4 in bracket 3x4 plus 2y squared, then minus 3y squared in bracket here 3x the power 4 plus 2y squared. That's what we get there. Then from there we're going to say, okay, 2 times 3 we get 6. Now x to the power 4 times x to the power 4, remember we are adding the powers here, the exponents. X 4 plus 4 you get 8. It's going to be x to the power 8. Then for this one here, 2x times that, 2 times 2 is going to be plus 4, then y squared x to the power 4. Then here it's going to be minus. So 3y squared times that, you're going to get negative 9 for numbers. Then y squared x to the power 4. Then here we're going to get negative times positive. You're going to get negative 6y to the power of 4, because you're adding the powers, the exponents. 2 plus 2, you get 4. Let's continue here. We're going to have x8, then 4y squared x4, 9y squared x4. These are like terms. These are like terms. So you can simplify further there. So we're going to say 4 minus 9, you get minus 5. So it's going to be minus 5 y squared x4, then minus 6y to the power of 4. That's what we get there. That becomes our final answer. So when we get here, remember, there is no way you're going to simplify it further. Because you are expanding it, you are not factorizing it. Okay, so factorizing, you are expressing into factor. So this one is in factorized form. So this one is factorized. So let me just label it here. So this one is factorized. This one is expand. So expanded, or we can say simplified. That's what we're talking about there. Now let's go on to the next question here. We are going to have our 4x the power 4 in bracket 2x4 minus 4y cubed. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm writing the whole bracket here, then plus 3y5 in bracket 2x4 4y cubed. Then here, what are we going to do from there? We are multiplying inside here. 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. X 4 plus 4 is giving us 8 there. Then 4 times 4 is going to give us minus 16. Then you have got x4y cubed. Then plus 3y squared, 3y to the power 5. So it's going to be 3y times, it's going to give us 6 y5 x the power 4. Okay, then here is going to give us plus, here there is a minus here, sorry about that. So it's going to be minus here again. Here is going to give us minus, because of this minus here, is going to give us minus 12 y 5 plus 3, you get 8. That becomes your final answer. There is no further simplification here, because there is no like term. Here is y to the power of 3, there is y to the power of 5. So we can't simplify this one further. We end there. Now let's see, let's continue here. The product of binomial and a trinomial. So when we talk of trinomial, we're saying you've got how many different values that we have here. You've got 1, 2, 3. Then here we have got 1, 2. That's why we call it a binomial. Now let's see what we're going to do there. Remember, we still follow the same rule. X multiplies everything in the second bracket, plus 2x plus 3, then plus 1. So 1 is not going to change anything. So it's going to, we're going to just rewrite as it is, okay? So what we get here, x to the power of 3 plus 2x squared plus 3x plus x squared plus 2x plus 3. Then here we get x3, then 2x squared plus 2x squared. These are like terms, guys. These are like terms. These are also like terms here. So we're going to get, we're going to say, okay, 2x plus x, we're going to get 3x squared. Okay, this one doesn't change. Can you see what we're doing here? We're only changing the numbers, because it's more like you're adding 2 cows to another one, then you get 3 cows. Okay, so doesn't change there. So the x squared doesn't change. We don't add the power 4 there, and unless if we are multiplying. Okay, then here it's going to be 3x plus 2x going to give us 5x, then plus 3. That becomes our final answer. We can't expand further. Let's go on to the next one here. We have got 3x in bracket 9x squared plus 6xy plus 4y squared, then minus 2y. We bring the same bracket again, 9x squared plus 6xy plus 4y squared. Then that's what we have there. Then you've got 3x times 9x, you're going to get 27x to the power of 3. Then plus 6 times 3 is going to get 18x squared y. Then 3x times 4, you're going to get plus 12 xy squared minus, then you get 18, 2 times 9, 18 y, then you're going to be x squared y plus negative times positive, you get negative there. Sorry about that one, we get a negative there. So it's going to be negative 12 xy squared. Then here you're going to get again negative here, negative 8y3. Now let's see if we have got like terms here. Like terms, we have got x squared y here, x squared y, x squared y. Then you have got xy squared. Then you've got xy squared there, xy squared, xy squared. Now, what happens now is that we're going to say, okay, 18 minus 18, it cancels, okay? Then 12 minus 12 is also cancels like that. Then what do we get from there? Well, our final answer will be equal to 20. Sorry about that one. 27x cubed minus 8y cubed. Yeah. For here now, I think we'll also do that where we are subtracting cubes, okay? Where we are subtracting cubes, then you also learn how to go back to the original here, okay? So I hope you guys understand here. Let's move on to the next question. Now, product which leads to the difference of two squares, okay? Now, here is difference of two squares that we're talking about. If we have got a squared minus b squared, the answer will be a plus b, a minus b. So what we're actually doing here, we are going back. We are going back. So in this case here, we are going back to what is it? To our original values. Okay, that's what you're talking about here. So in what you are just doing there, you are squaring what we have there and also minusing the next value. Let's, for example, here we are given, let's say you are given x squared. Let's say it's x squared minus 4. This is x plus 2. X minus 2, because you're looking at the square, because the square root of 4, then we know it. So now we're actually going back. Let's see here if we are able to do that. Okay, x plus 7, x minus 7. So what do we do from there? It's gonna be x squared minus 7 squared, which is equals to x squared minus 49. So when you're given this x squared minus 49, you know that 49 have a square root, is a perfect square, so you can actually have a root which is 7. So you're just gonna say x minus 7, x plus 7 going back. Okay, so for example here, now for this one here, we know that it's 3, so you're going to say, okay, 3 squared x squared, so it's gonna be 3 squared x squared minus 2 squared y squared, which is gonna be equal to 9x squared minus 4y. So it's minus 4y squared. Okay, that's what we get as our final answer there. That's difference of two squares. Okay, so some of you know how to deal with it when you're coming from from this angle here, factorizing it. When you're actually factorizing, not expanding. But in this case here, we are base factorizing. Now, let's get to see here something. It's a trick one here. Why is it a trick one? Because we have got, it's a trinomial in this case. So we've got 3x minus 2 plus y. Then 3x minus 2 minus y. Now, if I'm to take you back, if we have got a minus b, a plus b. So what is constant here? What is constant is a. What's constant here is a. Can you see that? Then also another something that is constant here is b and also the other b. So what is constant here? Can we look at it? What is constant here is that is this one here is constant and this one is also what? Constant. So in that case now, we're going to take this 3x minus 2 as a. So in that case, what do? We're going to say, okay, it's going to be 3. Let me just use one color here. It's going to be 3x minus 2. We put in bracket, we square that, minus y squared. That's what we do. That's how we get to the final answer. So this one, it leads to the difference of 2 squares, and that becomes our final answer. Can you see what we have done? We are looking at the value here to say, okay, what is constant here? It's 3x minus y. There's also 3x minus 2. Then there's also 3x minus 2. Then can you see the signs here? The signs that are changing. There's a plus, then there is a minus. That's also what we notice here when we are looking at what called this difference of 2 squares. Okay. So let's see here what we are supposed to do in this case, because we are saying we want to check product that leads to difference of 2 squares. So if we are to look at this one, we can rewrite it as it is. So it's 1 minus a the power of 4. We can actually expand, factorize it, but we can just leave it like that because we know that what is it? We know that it's a difference of 2 squares already. We can expand it to this. So what do we do in this case? We're going to deal with this one where we have a plus, we minus and a plus, and we have got 1, we've got 1, we've got a squared, we've got a squared. So we can deal with this one simple. So it's 1 here, 1 squared minus a. Now when you are looking at a, now you are looking at a and say, okay, a is a squared, but what are you going to do to it? You're going to square it again. Can you see that? You're going to square it again because you're taking this and square it. 1 squared is just 1. So what are you going to get as your final answer here? It's going to be 1 minus a 4. Then here, sorry, then 1 minus a the power of 4. That's what we get there. So here there's 1 minus a to the power of 4, 1 minus a to the power of 4, and that gives you, but here we can leave it like that, but you can also see that we can also put it as 1 minus a to the 4 squared like that. Okay, that's your final answer is here where we are. Now let's look at where we are squaring a binomial. How do we square a binomial? Now when you are squaring a binomial, we are saying if we have got a minus, let's say a minus b, we squared. What does it mean? Or let's start here, a squared. What does this mean? It means that it's a times a. What about this one? It means that it's going to be a minus b, then a minus b. But if we are to multiply here, let's see what we get there. If we're going to say a times a, it's going to be a squared, then a times b is going to be minus ab, then b times minus b times a is going to be minus, let's just use the same thing, a b. Then minus b times b is going to be plus b squared. Then your final answer in that case will be equals to a squared minus 2, because minus you're adding them, minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, what about if we're adding a plus b? We are squaring it. It's going to be a plus b, a plus b. Then what do we get there? It's going to be a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. That gives us a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay. then in that case, you can see that you are having, there's something that you can check, you can see there. What do you do when you want to get your answer quickly? So here in generally, we are saying if we have got a minus b, we squared. The answer will be a squared minus 2a times b minus 2 times ab. So it's going to be ab plus the b squared. Then what about if we are adding a plus b, we square, it's going to be a squared, we take the sign here, plus 2ab plus b squared. So this is the standard general formula here to get your answer. So whatever scenario that you are in, you can simply simplify it in this form. Okay, let's try to see if we understand here. So what I'm saying in this case that we can find a way to simplify it, because we know that standard is when it's plus there, it's going to be plus 2ab, which is a times b. And in this case, our ab here is x and 5. Okay, so what we are simply saying here is that we're going to say it's going to be x squared plus 2. What is our a there? Is x. What is our b? Is 5 plus 5 squared. Can you see that? Then this answer is going to be x squared. 2 times 5 is 10. So it's going to be plus 10x. Then 5 squared is going to be 25. So you're no longer doing all these things, expanding, having two brackets and do that. But you're going to go straight to the answer and get your, what you call your answer. Let's see here what we have here. So with this one here, we are looking at x cubed as our a. We are looking at 3y squared as our b. Okay, what do? We have a negative there. So we are following this formula here. So we know that we're going to say, okay, it's going to be x cubed squared minus 2x cubed. B is negative. Sorry, we already take that. 3y squared, 3y6. Okay, then plus 3y6 squared. Can you see that? Then what do we do now from there? It's going to be x. Now, when you are multiplying, when you are having this is exponents. So if we have got a to the power of n, then in bracket you have got m there. This is the same as a to the power n m. So n times m. That's what you're talking about there. So let me just put the times there so that you understand there. N times m, which is a n m. Okay. Now let's continue here. Let's see here where we left. So it's going to be x. 3 times 2 is going to be 6 minus 2. Sorry, yeah. 2 times 3 is 6. X cubed y6. Then for this one here, plus we are squaring 3 squared is going to be 9. Then y 6 times 2 is going to be 12. So y to the power of 12. That becomes our final answer. Can you see how we're getting the answer nice and smooth? Now let's see here what we have. We have got 3. Can you see something here? Our 3, let's keep our 3 outside of this. So we're going to say, okay, let's keep our 3 there and put it outside like that. Then we're going to have our x squared minus 2 times x times 3y, then plus 3y squared. We take it like that. Then what are we going to get there? 3. Then you have got x squared minus 2 times 3 is 6xy. Then here it's going to be 9. So it's plus 9. I want my work to be neat there. Plus 9y squared. Like that. Then let's take our 3 inside now. We're going to say 3 times x squared. It's going to be 3x squared. 3 times 6 is going to be negative 18xy. 3 times 9 is going to be plus 27y squared. Can you see? We get our answer like that. What about this one here? What are we supposed to do? Can you see what we have done here? For this one, 3 is outside of the bracket. So what we're actually squaring only here, we are squaring only the 2, the x minus y, 3y. not the 3. 3 is not being squared. But what about here? We are squaring everything inside here. Everything inside the big bracket. So what must we do to make our life is we put our new bracket there and take out this, remove this bracket in the inside the bracket. So remove the inside bracket. It's going to be 2m minus 2 times 4 is going to be 8n. Then we have our squared outside there. Then we go on to say, okay, it's going to be 2m squared minus 2 times 2m times 8n plus 8n squared. Then what do we get there? 2 squared is 4m squared minus 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 8, you get 32. So it's going to be 32mn. Then plus 8 squared is 64. Then n squared, like that. So this becomes your final answer. So you must just check here, when the 2 is outside the bracket, it's multiplying everything. So you simplify what's inside the bracket and you get your answer. Okay. So guys, all the best until next time. So make sure that in your textbook we have done this exercise. They are splitted, so you must make sure that you can watch part of it, then you attend your exercises, then you go on like that. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.